Letter 494 by Charles Lamb. Enfield, 15th November, 1829. My dear Wilson, I have not opened a packet of unknown contents for many years that gave me so much pleasure as when I disclosed your 3 volumes. I have given them a careful perusal, and they have taken their degree of classical books upon my shelves. Defoe was always my darling, but what darkness was I in as to far the larger part of his writings? I have now an epitome of them all. I think the way in which you have done the life, the most judicious you could have pitched upon. You have made him tell his own story, and your comments are in keeping with the tale. Why, I never heard of such a work as the Review. Strange that in my stall-hunting days I never so much as lit upon an odd volume of it. This circumstance looks as if they were never of any great circulation, but I may have met with them, and not knowing the prize, overpassed them. I was almost a stranger to the whole history of dissenters in those reigns, and picked my way through that strange book, the Consolidator, at random. How affecting are some of his personal appeals, what a machine of projects he set on foot, and following writers have picked his pocket of the patents. I do not understand whereabouts in Roxana he himself left off. I always thought the complete tourist sort of description of the town she passes through on her last embarkation miserably unseasonable and out of place. I knew not they were spurious. Enlighten me as to where the apocryphal matter commences. I by accident can correct 1 AD. Family Instructor, Vol. Roman II, 1718. You say his first volume had then reached the 4th edition. Now I have a 5th, printed for a man. Matthews, 1717. So have I plucked one rotten date, or rather picked it up where it had inadvertently fallen from your flourishing date tree, the palm of Engaddi. I may take it for my pains. I think yours a book which every public library must have, and every English scholar should have. I am sure it has enriched my meager stock of the author's works. I seem to be twice as opulent. Mary is by my side, just finishing the 2nd volume. It must have interest to divert her away so long from her modern novels. Colburn will be quite jealous. I was a little disappointed at my ode to the treadmill not finding a place, but it came out of time. The 2 papers of mine will puzzle the reader, being so akin. Odd that, never keeping a scrap of my own letters, with some 15 years' interval, I should nearly have said the same things. But I shall always feel happy in having my name go down anyhow with Defoe's and that of his historiographer. I promise myself, if not immortality, yet diuturnity of being read in consequence. We have both had much illness this year, and feeling infirmities and fretfulness grow upon us, we have cast off the cares of housekeeping, sold off our goods, and commenced boarding and lodging with a very comfortable old couple next door to where you found us. We use a sort of common table. Nevertheless, we have reserved a private one for an old friend, and when Mrs. Wilson and you revisit Babylon, we shall pray you to make it yours for a season. Our very kindest remembrances to you both, from your old friend and fellow journalist, now in 2 instances. Hazlitt is going to make your book a basis for a review of Defoe's novels in the Edinburgh. I wish I had health and spirits to do it. Hone I have not seen, but I doubt not he will be much pleased with your performance. I very much hope you will give us an account of Dunton and C. But what I should more like to see would be a life and times of Bunyan. Wishing health to you and long life to your healthy book. Again, I subscribe me. Yours in verity. Wilson's memoirs of the life and times of Daniel Defoe had just been published in 3 volumes, with the date 1830. Defoe's review was started in February 1704 under the title, A Review of the Affairs of France, purged from the errors and partiality of newswriters and petty statesmen of all sides. It continued until May 1713. The Consolidator, or Memoirs of Sundry Transactions from the World in the Moon, translated from the lunar language, was published in 1765, a political satire which it has been thought gave hints to Swift for Gulliver. Lamb had sent Wilson his ode to the treadmill. The substance of his letter of December 16, 1822, was printed by Wilson in chapter Roman 22 of Vol. Roman III. The new material which he wrote especially for the book was printed in chapter Roman 17 of the same volume. The space dividing them was not 15 years, but 7. Diuturnity, spelt diuturnity, a rare word signifying long duration. Fellow journalist, the other instance would be in connection with the journals of the India House, where Wilson had once been a clerk with Lamb. Hazlitt's review of Wilson's book is in the Edinburgh for January 1830, with this reference to Lamb's criticisms. Captain Singleton is a hardened, brutal desperado without one redeeming trait or almost human feeling, and in spite of what Mr. Lamb says of his lonely musings and agonies of a conscience-stricken repentance, we find nothing of this in the text. Dunton, this would be John Dunton, 1659–1733, the bookseller and author of the Athenian Gazette, Dunton's Whipping Post, and scores of pamphlets and satires.